Okay, so when I now regret this because I have to defend Centauri's. Da-da-da-da. So, do we... I guess I'll just build a bunch of Crimson VSTs, since Michael wanted to see more dam. Where do we want to attack next? Garos, I guess, because it's the least assailable from anywhere else. And that's not opening up another choke point for us. So Contram, you can get us even more money. I like more money. I'm gonna get rid of that. Oh, that was pointless. I forgot I limited it to 3. Never mind.
Victory cruiser ready.
Enemy fleet approaching.
I don't think the New Republic's going to be able to take capes from us. That's a lot of stuff. I think the New Republic might be able to take capes from us. Will ATRTs be in the mod? Probably not. Because like you already have like the ATPT, the Podwalkers, ATST. There's a lot of stuff already filling that role. And I don't really remember the ATRTs being used by anything at this point. Maybe, like, it's possible the Empire Restored something had some, because God knows that every EU writer wanted to throw in random crap. Is there a reason why this mod space stations don't have weapons on them as hardpoints as opposed to other mods? Well, in this mod, the space stations are just meant to be the shipyards, so the actual production facilities. So arming them didn't really feel that useful, or feel like it fit that much. Especially because we have stuff like Golans, and in the future some other stuff to defend them. So if you want to be defensive oriented, you can build the Golans around them, and that's sort of like having all the capabilities that you used to have for the star bases split up between different ships, so you're specializing a bit more and deciding whether you want to spend the resources on production and an offense or on defense. Okay, we're gonna get up here because I think we're gonna need all the anti-fighter help we can get. I'm gonna send you up there a bit. You need to stop. Stop it. No, don't ram that guy. Yes, send in all your tiny frigates first.
Attack that target. How about a little help? Cannons armed. Where'd he go? Can anyone else see him?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just gonna win this.
Ready for command, sir. Fire at will. The lasers are our target. Active. Going for their lasers. Where are you?
Was consider bringing back the vanilla space stations using the shipyards and some roles light and heavy factory. Think I would know to build those. So we actually used to do it like that. We used to have the shipyards be separate structures, and part of the problem was that you couldn't build a lot of Golans and the shipyard, so you would have to have the different structures. So it just seemed like the shipyard plants are the ones that you want to build the Golans on anyways. So, yeah. But the other thing was the AI really didn't know how to use them properly and didn't want to use them properly. Like, you could probably Lewis script it to force them to use them properly, but not with... I think it would be pretty laggy to do it that way, because you'd have to have the script executing every time on every planet they take, and just give them to it for free, so they don't really have a choice in the matter. So that might work, but ultimately we feel better about having more specialized stations, and even if we were to use stuff like the Cardan or the Rebel one, giving them different roles as opposed to having this like generalist kind of shitty at everything situation. Like, I'd rather have a trade structure, a defense structure, a production structure, rather than just be like one size fits all structure. In skirmishes, upgrading station weapons improve the goals you start with. I think it does. I think it should. I'd have to check the coding again to be sure. And why are there no golems for the Greater Maldrood? I actually addressed that earlier. A lot of stuff for the Maldrood is just not finished being coded yet. You guys looking to add in beam lasers at a later point like the Vong mod is going to? With those, we might, but it'll again depend on performance. Because ultimately those take a lot of emitters. So depending on how many you have going on, if you're not using too many, it's probably not big of a problem. But I'm not sure. We are looking to specialize some of the planets a bit more, but we don't want to make it so that anything is like super indispensable to a faction. And there's a lot of the bonuses in the base game are just kind of dumb to begin with. Any plans for more concussion missiles or proton missile launchers on ships? I think they might have taken co-op back. Any plans for more? No. So all the weapons are based on what the ships canonically had, and proton torpedoes and concussion missiles weren't super common on most ships. Like, I think we have more on the Empire of the Hand than on any other faction, but on the whole, they tend to be more on fighters and bombers. Like, there's some like the MC-90 that have a few. The VSDs, obviously. But on the whole, we do stick to what these ships were canonically able to do. The main thing we're working on right now is getting some of the story stuff set up and some of the redoing a lot of the models. But those are different people. But like once we're done getting a lot of the story stuff planned and set up, we'll start working more on fleshing out some of the other some of the features, like maybe a few abilities, maybe a few smaller missions, stuff like planetary bonuses will be worked out a bit more. But it really just depends on how we end up being able to focus our resources. Because there's some stuff that I'd like to do for this version that if we end up having to wait for a future version, I won't be like too torn up about it. I don't think the Allegiance did. What do you think is better, a chaff or a both in assault cruiser? I think the chaffs are probably better. I mean, chaffs are better in Empire at War. I think some of the abilities that both in assault cruisers have in Ascendancy make them a bit better than chaffs are in Ascendancy. It's a good thing you have all these interdictors. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to retreat. Bothan cruisers look like whoever made them was playing a lot of Halo before they designed it. Alright. For a glorious few minutes, I thought that this was the fight for either Garos or Graven or whatever we were going to attack instead of Hapes. It felt like making progress, but it's not. I'm going to have to send this guy in. Alright, just gotta clean up the last of these little frigates and then they'll probably leave. So if we have to deal with all the fighters, then you might end up losing something. Probably the Secutor. Alright, can this guy actually go in and help them? And the Architans if they want to come over here too. Is the Rebels having ICs just part of the story arc? Are they able to have them that way? So in this GC, the New Republic starts off as actually the Imperial Remnant, New Republic, and Hapes Consortium in an alliance. It does break up after Zsinj dies, but I haven't coded this. Well, when I had started the GC, I hadn't coded the thing to lock out the Imperial units and unlock the New Republic units again, and to switch out the Imperial units. But in general, they can't build them. They technically shouldn't have them right now, but that's just because I hadn't finished coding that event yet. Will the Chaff have an engine hardpoint? Yeah, so a lot of the ships that don't have engine hardpoints in 2.1 are getting them. So the super ships are getting them. A lot of the Empire of the Hand ships are getting them. The Empire of the Hand ships will probably end up with like 2 or 3 depending on the ship. Maybe the Phalanx will even have 4. Just to make it a bit harder to take them out. Because realistically on ships like the Phalanx, when you've taken out the engine hardpoint, you've taken out the entire ship because the engines are huge. Are you planning to rebalance the Venator Star Destroyer as a very weak unit? Well, at this point it was also a very old unit. And even at the best of times, when it was like top of the line, it was still primarily a carrier, and that's where a lot of its strengths do come from. So it's arguably the best non-secular or non-endurance carrier in the game, but like that's still not going to be the best for anti-ship capabilities. Because like you got to keep in mind, by the end of the mod, which is when they start showing up a lot more for the Remnant, for the Pentastar Element, you get them a lot earlier, but they're like 30 or 40 years old, while also being fairly small. So like, if you're comparing them against ships roughly their own size and their own age, they're good, but they're old, they're smaller, they're not direct ship destroyers. It's 3:30. I'm probably gonna just go for another whatever battle we're in the next 10 minutes. Once that ends, that'll probably be it. So we're gonna just wind down a little bit. Will the Executor have multiple engine hardpoints like Raiders? Yeah, it'll probably be 3 for the Executor. It's all on the list of stuff that I need to do. At this moment, Slorny and I are the only ones working on the coding for ICW, and up until like this week, I was the only one doing all the coding for Ascendancy. But Bane from Star Trek Armada 3 has very graciously, and Gull as well, but they've very graciously offered to help me with the coding for Ascendancy, and hopefully soon Dave and Delta will be able to start working more on some of the coding for ICW, which should really help kick stuff into gear a bit more, which will give me a bit more freedom to work on that sort of thing when I want to. I know this isn't on the table for this version, but have you considered a GC where the Maldrood fights the Hutts? I've thought about it because there's a I think it was the Essential Guide to Warfare, but there was a picture of that Hutt fleet, and I love those ships so much. I really want to make them for something. I don't know what, but I want to make them for something.
The lasers are our target.
Because they ended up using those ships from the Great Galactic War up till the... or even before then, up until the Legacy era. They were still around. So there would have been at least a few... oh my god, my foot just fell asleep. There would have been a few around during this time period. I just love the ships so much. Will anything with a new canon be put into the mod? Is it solely pre-Disney stuff? Well, the new canon is completely separate. Like, I don't have the same problem with Disney canon, honestly, that a lot of people do. Like, I don't love it, but I don't care about it that much. But it is a separate universe. So just it did, like, nothing that exists in the Disney universe would have existed in the EU. And there's a lot of stuff in the EU that are in the Disney universe that contradicts the EU. So, and with so many different things we could add from the EU, there's not really a huge reason to use any of the Disney canon, even if we really wanted to. Could have used that a lot better. This is why you look at your mini-maps, kids. We're going to see a Vengeance Star Destroyer for the Imperial Remnant in Era 3, as several of those predicted this in Dark Empire. Probably not as a buildable unit. Maybe as a starting unit. Maybe. Maybe. But yeah, I really don't like the ship, but that's not really an area where I can... It has to be about what makes sense as opposed to what I like or dislike as far as that stuff goes. But probably not. Because they already have access to so many different SSDs that they can build or start with, so it's kind of a toss-up. Alright. So I think we're just going to go and attack. Actually, no. I'm lying.
Construction complete.
I need to build up a better ground force. To you. I guess we can take over the space there, and then I think that'll actually do it for the stream. So that'll work.
Victory cruiser ready.
I would do a bit longer, but I do have to go out tonight, and I have to get some stuff done before then. So, unfortunately... Well, making the Hutt ships the raiding fleets that attack in the eastern area of the galaxy. That fleet's actually a universal fleet, or a universal script. It doesn't really judge where it is in the galaxy. But if we were to do them, they'd probably end up in that sort of thing. But if we made those ships, I'd like to use them for a bit more than that. Just because I like them so much. Like, that might be one area where I'm willing to stretch canon a little just for the sake of those ships being so good. And Maldrood did fight the Hutts a fair bit. They had like border skirmishes, from what I remember. So they must have been fighting them with something, and since those ships were around before then and after then, it's possible they just made extra ones in response to the Vong War, but they would have also lost those in the Vong War.
Forward.
It's hard to say.
Full speed.
Okay, so there's got to be Golans here because they're going back to defend it.
Right away.
This is probably going to happen, but I believe I saw Hammerhead and Rebels. Any chance this would be floating around or not? No, that's just in Rebel, in the new canon that happened, where they've decided that Hammerheads lasted that long. I mean, I think there was a destroyed one on Mustafar and Galaxies, but there's not really any instances of Hammerheads being used in the expanded universe past around the Sith Wars and stuff. Oh god. Alright. Allegiances everywhere. Allegii. I was expecting a goal in one.
Star Destroyer standing by.
Goal in twos aren't that bad. Gonna lose the. Oh, that's not even my VST. Ha! I'll do it. Maybe I can use my phone to do that. I really don't want to screw up the stream thing.
Star Destroyer reporting in.
That's odd.
Yes, come on.
Right.
Our target priority is the laser gun. The lasers are our target.
Even if you go on Wikipedia, I think one's called like the Chalandion or the Pteranodon. One of them might have an S in it.
Awaiting your orders. Those torpedo launchers must be destroyed. We're drawing their fire. No good. Moving to coordinates.
Chalandion?
Choose your reinforcements.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Our target priority is the laser gun.
Take out that one. Okay, you need to help him. This guy is oh, that's a detector. That's why. What are the priorities for death clones? Do you plan on doing them all? Well, the way we're sort of organizing it is highest priority is getting the newer ship models done, and then the damage particles, and then after that, death clones. And obviously, we'd be going through like if we plan on remodeling something, we won't do the death clone for it yet, or do the damage particles for it yet. So like the Allegiance is probably going to get one fairly soon. The VSD is probably going to get one. I'd like to redo the Carrack, but is this the old Carrack? Either way, yeah. So priority list is models, damage particles, then death clones, beginning with the ones that we're done with. Oh, and this was like an hour ago, but someone did ask about the Executor, whether we plan to update that. So the model that's currently used in Imperial Civil War is just the stock model. So we'd like to update the texture on our Ascendancy model, or our model from Ascendancy for it, and then use that one. But I'm not sure if we'll be able to do that yet, because I think we want to update the texture for it before we convert it over, just in case it gets re-UV'd or any of the mesh changes, which should be a bit better. And since EAW can handle a little bit higher than Zsinj can, because it doesn't have the same hard memory limits, then we may be able to upgrade the model a little bit too. What? You were holding out on me. Do we just have... Okay. This was unexpected.
Prepare for jump to hyperspace.
I wonder if it'll let me link it. By the way, sometimes all the ship parts take damage at the same time. This happened right now with one of the Golans. I remember it was in vanilla, but why this happens, I'm not really sure. It might be something to do with the names of the collision meshes. I'm just going to post the link in the chat. I might actually... Oops. What did I do? There we go. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for the stream. I'm going to post a link to the thing I was talking about in the chat. So I'm just going to Alt-Tab quickly. But Because it is the one that you just linked there, but I'm going to see if it'll let me do something clickable. But, so thanks for watching, everyone. These episodes will be going up over the next week. So that'll probably be the episodes for Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Next Saturday for the stream, we're going to be doing, this is not the original, but it's same picture. Next week we're going to be doing an Ascendancy community game for the stream, so if you are watching this part of it actually on the YouTube VOD thing, that should be this afternoon if I'm getting my days right. Because Saturday, yep, that'll be Saturday. And then the rest of the episodes will probably, I might do this again the week after, so the following Saturday, and then at some point this month I'm going to be going back to Niagara to spend the holiday with my family. But thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going to be in the Discord chat thing for a while. If you have, or if you want to join that, there's a link in the description of the stream here. That'll be open the entire forever, really. But yeah, so thanks everyone. Again, we just got to 1,000 subscribers on the stream, so I want to thank all of you for both coming to the stream and watching the stream, subscribing to the channel, all that fun stuff. Thanks, guys. Bye.